I had just opened the email when my hand started shaking. $45,000. That is what the subject line said: annual performance bonus notification. 2 years of 60-hour weeks, missed weekends, and cold coffee at my desk had finally paid off. This was not just money. This was my ticket to paying down the $28,000 in student loans that had been hanging over my head since graduation. This was the down payment on my own place. This was freedom. I sat there in my childhood bedroom staring at that number, feeling something I had not felt in years. Hope. Real, tangible hope. I thought this was finally my ticket to real independence. Turns out I was not the only one who had plans for that money. That evening, Dad called an emergency family meeting. Before I tell you what happened at that family meeting, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. If you have ever had someone try to claim what is rightfully yours, hit that like button, because you will understand why I did what I did next. And subscribe, because this story has a twist that even I did not see coming at first. Now let me take you back to that Sunday evening when everything changed. It was a Sunday night, and the air in our living room felt different. Dad had this weird energy about him, like a kid on Christmas morning. Mom sat on the edge of the couch, smiling, but not quite meeting my eyes. My younger sister Amber bounced into the room, her phone already out, probably ready to document whatever Dad was about to announce. I sat down on the old sofa I'd been sleeping on for the past 3 years. After college, I'd moved back home to save money. What was supposed to be 6 months had stretched into 3 years. Every time I mentioned moving out, Dad would bring up how expensive rent was, how I should save my money, how family sticks together. Dad stood in front of the TV with his laptop open. On the screen was a photo of a massive cruise ship, all white and gleaming against a Caribbean sunset. He started talking. "I have been thinking," he said, and his voice had that tone he used when he had already made up his mind about something. "We have not had a real family vacation in over a decade." I nodded. That was true. The last real trip we took was when I was in high school, before Dad's hours got cut at the plant and before Amber started college. He clicked through photos of the cruise ship. 10 days in the Caribbean, all-inclusive, suites with balconies, 5-star restaurants, a spa, shore excursions to islands I had only seen in magazines. The works. Amber squealed. "Oh my God! Dad, are we really going?" Mom's smile got wider, but her eyes still would not meet mine. The price flashed on the screen. $42,000 for the whole family. My stomach did a little flip. That was a lot of money. But I figured maybe Dad and Mom had been saving. Maybe they had finally paid off the car. Maybe this was their retirement fund kicking in early. Then Dad turned to me. "And Bruce," he said, "since you just got that big bonus, this will be perfect timing. We can use your money to finally give this family the trip we deserve. Not a question, not a request, not even a hey, what do you think? Just a statement, a done deal. My bonus, my money." The room started spinning a little. Amber was already planning out loud which excursions she wanted to do. The snorkeling, the zip-lining, the private beach day. Mom reached over and patted my knee. "It is only fair, Bruce," she said softly. "We supported you through college." I tried to form words. "Dad, I was planning to use that for my student loans and maybe putting some toward getting my own place and—" He cut me off. "Student loans can wait. Family comes first. We sacrificed a lot raising you kids. This is not asking too much." That phrase. Family comes first. I had heard it my whole life. Every time I wanted something for myself, every time I tried to set money aside, that phrase would come out like a magic spell that was supposed to make me forget about my own needs. This was not the first time either. When I was 22, working part-time while finishing my degree, I had saved $3,000. Dad borrowed it to fix his truck. Never paid me back. When I asked about it 6 months later, he said the same thing. Family comes first. Last year, I started sending $500 a month to help with household expenses. I thought it was going to bills. Then I saw the brand new TV in Amber's room. 75 inches. Dad said she needed it for her online classes. Amber was getting her master's degree in communications. Fully funded by Mom and Dad. She did not work. She did not pay rent. She did not pay for groceries. She just existed in this bubble where everything was provided. Meanwhile, I was the one covering her Netflix subscription, because Dad said it was only fair since we are family. "So it's settled," Dad said, closing his laptop with a decisive click. "I will need you to transfer the money by Friday, so I can book this before the prices go up." I sat there frozen. Everyone was looking at me. I nodded. What else could I do? Say no and be the selfish son who ruined the family vacation? Be the bad guy who does not care about giving his parents one nice trip after all they have done? But as I nodded, something clicked in my brain. A realization that made my chest feel tight. The bonus check. It was being mailed to my address on file with HR, which was this house, this address. Dad knew that. He must have known. Mom must have told him, or maybe Amber mentioned it. They knew the check was coming here to this house, and they had planned this whole thing around that fact. That night I lay on the sofa in the living room, staring at the ceiling. The house was dark and quiet. Through the thin walls I could hear Dad snoring and Amber's music playing softly from her room. I was 28 years old and I was still asking permission to use my own money. Something had to change. Monday morning started early. Too early. I was still on the couch. Had not slept much when Mom came into the living room with a cup of coffee. She sat down next to me. "Your father is really excited about this trip," she said, her voice gentle. I took the coffee even though I did not want it. She started telling me about how hard things had been, how Dad had worked 2 jobs when Amber and I were kids, how they had given up their own dreams so we could have opportunities, how they never took vacations, never bought nice things for themselves. Every word was a little needle of guilt carefully placed. "I am not getting any younger, Bruce," she said. Her hand was on my arm now. "Who knows how many more years I will be healthy enough to travel?" I looked at her, really looked at her. She was 56, healthy, active. She went to yoga 3 times a week. But the guilt worked anyway. That is the thing about guilt. It does not have to be logical to be effective. "I will think about it, Mom," I said. She patted my arm and left. But I saw it. The little smile. The confidence. She knew I would cave. I always did. Tuesday was Amber's turn. She did not bother with subtlety. All day long she sent me links. "Look at this excursion. Look at this restaurant on the ship. Look at this spa package." She was planning my money like it was already spent. At dinner, she could not stop talking about the trip. She had already told her friends, already started planning outfits, already decided which Instagram filters she would use for her vacation photos. "I already told my friends we are going," she said, scrolling through her phone. "Do not be selfish, Bruce." That word, selfish, because wanting to keep the money I earned was selfish. "You know that is my money, right?" I said quietly. She looked up at me like I had said something offensive. "It is our family's money. Stop being greedy. You have a good job. I am still in school. Never mind that Amber had a bachelor's degree. Never mind that she could have gotten a job, any job, to help support herself through grad school. Never mind that I had worked 3 part-time jobs during my master's program." She went back to her phone and posted something on social media. Getting ready for the vacation of a lifetime. #family first. #Caribbean. My money was already being spent in her mind. Wednesday, Dad turned up the pressure. He did not ask about the money. He just started talking like it was already decided. He had a spreadsheet, an actual Excel spreadsheet with costs broken down. Flights, port fees, excursions, drink packages, travel insurance. He had researched everything. "So Friday afternoon works for the transfer, right?" he said. "I need to get this booked by Saturday at the latest." I tried one more time. "Dad, I really need that money for my student loans. I owe $28,000. And I was hoping to start looking at places to buy. I need about $15,000 for a down payment." He waved his hand like I was talking about pocket change. "You are young. You will make more money. You have got time to save up again." But this was not about time. This was about my future, my life. "We let you live here rent-free," he said. "Do you know how much that is worth? Thousands of dollars. Thousands. You owe us." There it was. The real reason. Not love, not family. Debt. I owed them. "This is what families do," Dad continued. "Are you saying we are not a real family?" Every single time I tried to set a boundary, it came back to this. If I said no, I was saying we were not a real family. I went to my room that night feeling like the walls were closing in. Around 11, I heard voices. Dad and Mom talking in the kitchen. I could hear them through the thin door. "He will cave," Dad said. "He always does." "The check is coming Friday. It will be here, at this address." "What if he says no?" Mom asked. Dad laughed, a short, confident laugh. "He will not. He is too guilty. Besides, the check is coming here." "What is he going to do?" I sat on my bed, hands shaking. They were not asking because they did not think they needed to. They had the upper hand. They controlled the address where my money was going. And in that moment, I realized something that hit me like cold water. They did not see me as their son. They saw me as an ATM, a resource, someone whose success was their success, whose money was their money. This was not love. This was manipulation. I opened my laptop, searched for apartments near my office, found a studio, small, $1,200 a month. Available immediately. My mind was racing now. If I called HR first thing Thursday morning, I could change my address. The check was mailing Friday. If I changed the address Thursday, it would go to my new place, not here. I would need to sign a lease, move out, all before Friday. It was possible. It was risky. It was terrifying. But I was done being their retirement plan. I stayed up until 3 in the morning making a plan, looking at my bank account, calculating deposits and move-in costs. Every time I felt the guilt creeping back in, I heard Dad's laugh. "He will not. He is too guilty. Not anymore." The next morning I put on my work clothes like usual, kissed Mom goodbye, told Dad I would think about the transfer, but I was not going to my office. I had 3 phone calls to make. Thursday morning I sat in my car in a Starbucks parking lot. My phone felt heavy in my hand. This was it, the point of no return. I dialed HR. A woman named Angela answered, pleasant voice. Efficient. She had no idea she was about to help me change my entire life. "Hi, Angela. This is Bruce Harmon from the product development team. I need to update my mailing address." "Sure thing," she said. I could hear keyboard clicking. "Can I ask the reason for the change? I am moving out." "Personal reasons. No problem at all. Let me pull up your file." She paused. "Oh, I see you have a bonus check scheduled to mail tomorrow. Perfect timing. Let me update this now so it goes to the right place. Can you confirm your new address?" I gave her the address of the apartment I had not even seen yet, had not signed for yet. Was not even sure I could afford. All set, she said. The check will arrive at your new address early next week, probably Monday or Tuesday. Anything else I can help you with? No, that is all. Thank you. I hung up and sat there for a minute, breathing hard. My hands were shaking. I had just done it. Actually done it. No turning back now. At noon, I drove across town to meet the landlord. His name was Mr. Harrington. Irish accent, maybe 60 years old. Friendly eyes. He showed me the studio apartment on the third floor of an old building. It was small. One room with a tiny kitchen in the corner. A bathroom barely big enough to turn around in. A window that looked out onto a busy street. It was perfect. How soon can I move in? I asked. Mr. Harrington looked at me. Saw something in my face. Today, if you want. Just need first month deposit and fees. Comes to $2,600 total. I pulled out my checkbook, the one I kept separate from my main account, the one Dad did not know about, the emergency fund I had been building in secret for the past year. I will take it. We did the paperwork right there. He handed me 2 keys on a simple ring. Welcome home, he said. I drove back to my parents' house. Dad's car was in the driveway. He worked from home on Thursdays. I walked in. He was at the kitchen table with his laptop. You will transfer the money tomorrow, right? He said without looking up. I need to book by Saturday morning. Prices are going up. Yeah, Dad, I will handle it. Good. He still did not look at me. I already picked out the suites. Sent you an email with the details. I went to my room and closed the door. Started making a list of everything I needed to take. Not much. Clothes, laptop, important documents, a photo of my grandparents, some books. I was not taking furniture, not taking anything that would be obviously missing. I did not want a confrontation. I just wanted out. That night at dinner, everyone was cheerful. Dad talked about the cruise itinerary. Amber showed Mom photos of dresses she wanted to buy for the trip. Mom talked about which excursions sounded best. I ate quietly, smiled when I was supposed to, nodded when they looked at me. Tomorrow, Dad reminded me again as I cleared my plate. Do not forget. I know, Dad. Friday morning, I waited until everyone left. Dad to his home office downtown for a meeting. Mom to her book club. Amber to campus. Then I moved fast. Called an Uber XL. Started loading my stuff. 3 trips. Clothes in garbage bags. My laptop and work stuff in my backpack. Documents in a folder. The photo of my grandparents wrapped in a towel. I left everything else. The furniture was theirs anyway. I took only what was mine. By noon, I was in my new apartment. Empty. Echoing. Mine. My phone buzzed. Dad. Did you transfer the money yet? I texted back. I am handling it. Dad. Another buzz. Amber. Are you excited? Only 2 more days until Dad books it. I did not respond. That afternoon, I went to Target. Bought an air mattress, some sheets, basic kitchen stuff, toilet paper, soap, the essentials. That night, I inflated the air mattress in the middle of my empty studio and lay down. I could hear traffic outside, sirens in the distance, my neighbors through the thin walls. It was not quiet. It was not peaceful. But it was mine. Saturday, I did not go home. Texted Dad that I was working on a project with the team, staying at a friend's place. He was not happy, but he accepted it. Sunday, he texted me. I am booking the cruise Monday morning. The money better be in the account, I wrote back. Do not worry, do not worry. That was not a lie, just not the whole truth. Monday morning, I was sitting at my desk at work when my phone started buzzing. 9:30, then 9:45, then 10, 10:30. Amber. Dad is at the computer booking the cruise right now. So excited. My heart was pounding. This was it. 10:30, my phone rang. Dad. I did not pick up. 10:35. Dad again. 10:40. 3 more calls from Dad. 2 from Mom. 1 from Amber. I silenced my phone and tried to focus on work, but I could not. I kept checking. 15 missed calls by 11. Then a voicemail. Then 5 more voicemails. At lunch, I listened to them in my car. Where is the money? Dad's voice was shaking. The account is empty. Call me now. Another one. I tried to book the cruise. The money is not there. Where is it? Bruce. Another. This is not funny. Call me back right now. Then Amber. What did you do? Dad is losing his mind. Then Mom. Bruce, please call. Your father is having a meltdown. We need to talk about this. I sat there in my car, listening to my family fall apart because they could not spend my money. And I felt something I did not expect. Not guilt, not even satisfaction. Just calm. I called Dad back. He answered on the first ring. Where is my money? Not your money, Dad. Mine. The check did not come here. Where did it go? I changed my address with HR last Thursday. Silence. Complete silence. Then you did what I moved out. I have my own place now. I could hear him breathing. Heavy, angry. You selfish little... How dare you? I stayed calm. I dare, because it is my money. I earned it. Mom grabbed the phone. Bruce, you are tearing this family apart. No, Mom. You tried to take what was not yours. That is what tears families apart. I hung up. The phone rang again and again. I turned it off. That afternoon, Amber posted on social media, then deleted it. Some people are so selfish, they would let their whole family down. Dad sent a long email, pages of it, about how ungrateful I was, how selfish, how I had destroyed the family. Mom sent texts. We raised you better than this. How could you do this to us? I wrote one message back. Sent it to all 3 of them. I love you all, but I need to build my own life. The bonus is for my future. I hope you understand someday. Then I blocked their numbers. Not forever. Just for now. Just until I could breathe. That night I slept on my air mattress in my tiny studio apartment. Traffic noise outside. Thin walls. No furniture except what fit on 2 Target bags. And I felt something I had not felt in years. Peace. Real peace. For the first time, I was not waiting for someone to take something from me. The first week was strange. Quiet in a way I was not used to. No one asking me where I was going. No one commenting on what I was eating. No one expecting anything from me. Tuesday, the bonus check arrived. I held it in my hands. $45,000. It was the first time money felt like it actually belonged to me. I deposited it that afternoon. Then I sat down and made a plan. A real plan. Not one that someone else had made for my money. $10,000 went straight to my student loans. Watching that balance drop felt better than anything. $15,000 into a savings account for a house down payment. Untouchable. $15,000 into my retirement account. For a future that was actually mine. $5,000 for an emergency fund. It felt good. It felt right. 3 weeks later, Mom called. I had unblocked them by then. Her voice was softer than I expected. Your father's still upset, she said. But maybe we can talk. I agreed to meet at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. They came together. Dad, Mom, and Amber. Dad looked older somehow. Tired. Mom kept touching his arm like she was trying to keep him calm. We just wanted one nice thing as a family, Mom started. I understand, I said. But you cannot just take my money without asking. We raised you, Dad said. His voice was controlled, but I could hear the anger underneath. Fed you, housed you, gave you everything, and I am grateful. But that does not mean you own my future. Amber jumped in. You ruined everything. We were supposed to... I cut her off. No, Amber. You were supposed to ask. And I might have said yes. But you demanded. That is the difference. Dad's jaw was tight. So what now? You just abandon your family. I am not abandoning anyone. I am setting boundaries. There is a difference. Did you ever ask if I wanted to go on that cruise? I asked. Silence. You did not, I continued. You just assumed. You assumed my money was yours. That is not love, Dad. That is control. Mom started crying quietly. Amber looked at her phone. Dad stared at his coffee. I am not saying I will never help, I said. But it has to be my choice. Not an obligation. Not something you take. We left it at that. Awkward, unresolved. But it was a start. 2 months later, I started noticing changes. Dad picked up extra hours at work. Amber got a part-time job at the university bookstore. Her first job ever at 25. Mom started clipping coupons again. They were fine. They had always been fine. They just preferred when someone else covered things for them. That is when I realized the truth. This was never about need. It was about control. About keeping me in a position where I owed them, where I could never really leave. By month 3, we started talking again, carefully, with boundaries I had never had before. I met Mom for lunch every other week. We talked about normal things, books, weather, her garden. She did not ask about money. I did not offer. Dad and I texted occasionally. He was distant, probably would be for a while. But the anger had cooled to something more like disappointment. I could live with that. Amber surprised me the most. After a month of working, she sent me a text. I get it now. Working for money makes you see it differently. Yeah, I wrote back. It does. 6 months after I moved out, I got promoted. More money, more responsibility. I was thriving. I paid off more than half my student loans. Had enough saved for a down payment. Started looking at condos. Started dating someone from work. Nothing serious yet, but it was nice. Having something that was just mine. Built a circle of friends outside of family. People who did not expect anything except my company. My relationship with my family was not what it was. But maybe that was okay. Maybe what it was had not been healthy anyway. We were civil now. Distant. I saw them occasionally. Holidays, birthdays, brief visits that did not overstay their welcome. Mom texted me sometimes just to check in. Real check-ins, not setups for asking for something. Dad and I were still finding our way. But he had stopped treating me like a resource. Maybe because I was not accessible anymore. I learned something important through all of this. Setting boundaries does not make you selfish. It makes you survive. Family love should not mean sacrificing everything. Real love respects your autonomy, respects your choices, respects your right to your own life. I learned that guilt is a powerful tool, maybe the most powerful, and people who love you can still use it, can still manipulate you, not because they are evil, but because it works, because it has always worked. I learned that financial independence is emotional independence, that money and love should not mix, that your bonus, your rent, your bills, those are not family funds. They are your life. And I learned that you can love your family from a distance, that sometimes distance is necessary, that you can care about people without letting them control you. Now I sit in my apartment, not much bigger than that first studio, but better. Mine, paid for with my money. There is a letter on my table from the loan company. My student loan balance is almost gone. Another year and I will be free. There is an email from a realtor. 3 condos in my price range. Real possibilities. There is a text from Mom. Thinking of you. Hope you are well. I smile. Text her back. Thanks, Mom. I am doing great. And I am. I really am. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is disappoint the people who expect you to sacrifice yourself for them. My $45,000 bonus did not just change my bank account. It changed my life. And you know what I would make that same choice again, every single time. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family over money? Have you ever been in a situation where someone assumed your success was their success? Drop a comment below and share your story. I would love to hear how you handled it. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel because I share more stories like this every week. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who is struggling with family expectations or guilt about setting boundaries. And remember, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there find the courage to choose themselves. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.